Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to Urban Backpacker. As you see, I'm at the Bayou Itch, and the reason for it is because I made it to the end of the route. So basically, I fell asleep on the bus, and guess what? Nobody did nothing stupid. They just tapped on the glass where I was sleeping at, and I got up and left. That's all you have to do. Like, how professional is that? Other than that, getting the Metro Police, uh, yelling, hey, what for? But anyway, yeah, I'm here at the Bayou. Uh, so people actually do go swimming in it, and people actually do go boating. I wouldn't recommend swimming in that. The runoff alone is questionable. Well, people do it. Not gonna say who group of people do it, but you know who group I'm talking about. With that being said, you think the Olympics will make you here? I'm pretty sure most of the water sports would be happening in Sugarland, and all the other places around uh, the greater Houston region, as they will put it, where there's like cleaner water and everything. but yeah, reminds me of when they had the Olympics in France, and they was dumping a lot of stuff in the water to clean the water. And all you gotta do, believe it or not, all you have to do is just put tilapia, put a lot of tilapia into the water, and guess what? All that trash and garbage, they'll eat it. Of course, people don't want to do that because guess what? A lot of people love tilapia. They love tilapia to death, but it's a bottom feeder. It's the ultimate bottom feeding fish, and it's invasive. Yeah, like so, it's a very invasive species, and I think originally, I want to say originally, it's from Africa, but everybody has it everywhere. So, and they farm it everywhere. So, who knows? But a lot of farmers or ranching families, they use it in their ecosystem for that purpose to take care of impurities and all kinds of stuff in the landscape and everything, to take care of different levels of the ecosystem so they can, you know, process a lot of different things to mass produce with. So they're very good with just eating tons of bio waste, period. So for people to want to eat that, because you never know, like, yes, it's in a contained environment, and you know what they are using it for, but still, those same farming families will flip it and send it to a meat packing company. So you gotta just be careful. What else? That's about it. It was another thing is like a lot of times they'll floor it. They'll floor these buses early in the morning. It'll take like early in the morning when there's no traffic. It'll take like probably less than 40 minutes to make it from the Galleria area to downtown. Less than 40 minutes. So they'll floor it and they'll get here like probably sometime 30, 38, 30 something. And they love that because, they do these so many trips down. I want to say they do 2 to the 4, depending on what they signed up for, split shifts or full trips, and yeah, so a lot of them, enjoy this route, and it's a easy route, a main corridor route that basically, show you most of the west side of the city, and then it shows you uh, the interesting topical layout of the city. The layout is basically, you know, you see how high this is, and you see where the bayou is, meaning this is a hill. So there was no dirt construction to where they dumped a lot of stuff on top of everything to build up a high level for the bayou. No, the bayou is down there, way up here. So you have rolling hills throughout this area, just like you have swamplands. So you do have um, a situation where they call it the hilly plains, the hilly plains and stuff. And it just, uh, and both of them, you see, both of them are off together. I don't know. Is she moving? She moving? Okay, she moving up. Okay. So, but she's gonna go with some. A lot of them are just like uh, quick about just going up and back, and I want to say they do manage and watch a lot of their movement and everything. They can get into trouble for doing certain things. It'll be a while before they are caught doing it, but those supervisors, they are very good at what they do. A lot of them used to be drivers, or operators, and a lot of them know a lot of tendencies with the routes, and with bus riders and everything. And uh, it's weird. It's weird how they're better professionals than um, than the people that they're watching and managing, because like the operators, these are people that are the extension of those groups of people, and they act differently to each their own way to drive the bus and everything. So it was a decent bus ride, and pretty sure I'll walk over and catch, maybe not her, even though that was a nice smooth ride, and she didn't do anything weird, because it would be weird um, if that was to happen, because like I said, um, first of all, you let me on the bus and you saw that I have a pass, so it wouldn't be a situation calling for you to get the Metro Police, but literally some people just say, hey, this person went to sleep. And again, sleep on the bus is not illegal. They promote it in commercials and also on their little short videos that they do all the time. And people's like, oh, no, no, it's the express buses they could do it on. It's the express buses they could do that on. Not on the public. No, trust me, it's wherever you pay your money to get on, you should be able to do that. Don't try to say, oh, only the express buses, their people can get on the bus and fall asleep. Versus no, it's a sleeping culture going on, and Metro knows it. Everybody knows it. It's just, how do you enforce those laws? Like um, before We had the 82 and some 82 and the 2, I believe, was like 24/7. So you have these buses running 24/7, and you had basically homeless people just doing the routine of getting on the bus, getting off the bus at the end. So they'll get on and off at the end because you have buses stacked up. So all you just do is get off the bus, walk down to the sign right there, and you wait until the bus driver turns on her engine or his engine, and you get back on the bus, and that's about it. And it is a sign that's a stop. It's not just a end of the route stop. It's a stop of them, starting back. And the next um, stop is on the other side, at the other edge of this opening. Um, the opening that I showed you last time on the other videos. But so it's one of those things to where they knew it was going to be an issue, but never did anything about it, and you shouldn't do anything about it, especially if you can't, you're a part of the government as well, and if your local government officials can't articulate or properly install plans to handle different things, and guess what? Let people create loopholes and do things, and you just continue to get the money for your government agency or your transportation funding. Um, the other thing was them doing the 24/7 sleeping in public. This is what was fueling everything, and it's fueling everything to collapse, to accelerate a collapse. So this is something that the city of Houston has to be mindful of. If not, they're gonna sleepwalk into a collapse, and everybody gonna be like, "How did this happen?" Well, how did Enron happen? Similar story. So there's no overwatch, no oversight on a lot of these things, and we have budget issues like everybody else, and we have infrastructure problems like crazy, like everybody else, and the city do a poor job. Like Metro is spending so much money on fixing a lot of the landscape and layout to the bus stops, to where they one spot in on West Hammer, they already redone like 3 to 4 times already. So they was doing a lot of road work during COVID, and that was the first time. So the first few years of the COVID pandemic, those 3 hardcore years, they was doing road work all day, all night, because guess what? There was nobody on the street. So they kept on just working as many roads that they could with just fixing them. And once they done that, they was like, okay, we gotta go and detail the streets. So they went back and detailed the streets, and that's when they noticed that they effed up on a lot of the streets. So they redid it again. And again, this is still during COVID. So the following year, you was like, okay, they made the streets all nice and everything. But they came back and they detailed it. They was like, we put too much gravel on it, and you could tell. And so the road was warping on some lanes, and the road was the materials was starting to cover on the edges of the curbs, so it was creating potholes, uh, deeper potholes, because it's on the curb now. The extra or the excess material is on the curb, so you're creating potholes faster, and they get bigger, and they have like that thick crust of pavement around it. So whoever or whatever hits that is goodbye whatever part of the car you are driving it into, and so or bus, in some cases. And so they say, do it again. Take a lot of that stuff off. Keep everything below the curb and edges. Because they want something like this, but they don't do that on West Summer. You see this little curb and then like a slight road curb, and then the pavement or the rest of the road. But out there on West Summer, they perfectly, I want to say, this year when they repaired it, they perfectly did it. They took out whatever that one company, and I think it's the same company. That same company is making a killing. They effed up. I was saying the same contractors that they was doing the new stuff with to refurbish because of the COVID. So that company was around like 3 years ago doing a lot of the same thing, and so they come back to do patchwork, and the patchwork turned out to be a whole new, just scrap it and do it all over again. And we was like, I'm at work and everybody's like, what they doing? Didn't they just do the street during COVID and recently and a while ago? Well, they supposed to be patching, and then before we knew it, we saw that Metro Project sign, and the Metro Project sign was like they got that grant money to do renovation for Metro and the city streets of Houston. So you see a lot of that on the other side of town, West Chase, Galleria area, Richmond, and a lot of those, like, they need to fix a lot of Richmond, like going into that Fort Bend corner. I mean, the Mission Bend corner is a mess. Um, they could do better with a lot of everything with the roads, and you just don't need like a metro project for that. Metro shouldn't be the excuse why you are renovating the city infrastructure. You need to, a lot of the same thing is dealing with the drainage. So the other issue was at the corner. So here downtown, they wanted to bring the corners that you have downtown. They wanted to bring it to the Galleria area. So, but the only issue, not reason, but the only issue is, there's a bayou behind us. So a lot of the water could easily run off. Easily. Like this could easily, those steps could easily turn into a waterfall with 10 minutes hard rain. Up the street in the Galleria area, in the middle of nowhere but concrete. You have something like this out there, all it takes is 5 minutes of heavy rain for all this to be pretty much inches a foot high. Yeah, all the drainages are going to be just like they say, inundated with water, saturated with water, and debris. So it's going to take a while for all that to go through the storm system, storm drainage, and to clear out. So from Midtown to, I want to say, Buffalo Speedway, and maybe even a little bit after Buffalo Speedway, but definitely from Midtown to, or Montrose, we're gonna say from Montrose to Buffalo Speedway, there's a flooding problem. There's a floodplain, so it floods every time it has that much rain. And people, you can't go nowhere because you're the sidewalks, so everything is covered with water. So you run the risk of ruining your engine and everything to your car. But people do it anyway. Like, people would drive through their through water. The issue is you're supposed to coast through the water. You don't step on the gas when you're driving on the water. Just stay at a regular speed and just coast through the water without gassing, and you should be fine. Of course, there's gonna be water in some parts of your car, but you won't, have to deal with a blown out everything, because of the water corrosion and the missing of the lubricants and the dirty rainwater. So, but I say just don't do either, because you still gotta uh, clean your car, and you should immediately uh, do like lubricating your car. Drain all those fluids and put everything back. Immediately do an oil change. Um, oh, what else? That's about it. A lot of restaurants here in the city are closing, and a lot of them are opening. There's a window of time to where every business make their money and exist and should be closed. Should go out of business because they had their time and made their money and had their niche in the retail or restaurant market. And then if you don't do that, you run the risk of falling into those preceding bankruptcies and chapter 11, chapter 13. You also you can innovate and renew your menus and renovate the restaurant and the facilities, and HEB does that very well. And you can do a lot of um, quick fixes to just bring back interest and what you call it, bring back a nostalgia type of feeling for people that just go there every once in a while for anniversary and everything. You could keep the retro look and bring in a new vibe, and it's hard for restaurants to do that, and it's costly, and you probably would need a whole new bank that you're lending from. You probably need a whole new consulting team to help you, figure out what the trends are and what kind of food you want to do. And if that's the case, y'all can always hire me, because I'm always thinking about different things with food and everything. That's the most interesting thing about me. I dream and concept a lot of things, um, and I tell people I'm always daydreaming and thinking about uh, fusing. So fusing of food always existed. We just didn't know that what it was, and it's always a thing in the black household or in the black community with the survival meals or the cheap meals. You put a little bit of everything into those meals, and you are fusing instantly, instant classic. And you might not revisit it that often when you have money, but when you don't have money and you don't have nothing, you visit it every time, that one good meal or those two good meals. Um, but with that being said, all these buses coming through. Most of these buses are the older models. So I was working on my data in general for a lot of stuff, and one of the things that I noticed the Metro bus numbers and stuff, and there's a collection of buses that they refurbish. So they refurbish the buses or replace the buses, and the models that they got, they keep the original numbers. So there's a series of buses dealing with, we're gonna say the 2400s to like 20 something, like 2900s. So these buses are the buses that are the ones with USB plugins. So you have that range of fancy accessorizing going on. You have the 25 to the 2900 that have those things in a more comfortable style seating, and the seating are facing each other. So you have that going on with a lot of the those models. But the issue is the seats. You want to be on one of those buses because they have the most comfortable seats. Um, Anything outside that range, yeah, you'll be dealing with those harder seats to where they want to prevent people from falling asleep. Because yeah, on those express buses, they got those old school airplane type seats. So and I used to ride those buses all the time when I was living on Harwin, because those Harwin buses would go on the HOV lane downtown. So they'll ask the question when you got on the bus: are you going to the transit center or are you going downtown? And most of the time, I'm going to the transit center. Um, if I was to go to downtown, you know, um, I wouldn't pay extra money. I would just, use the same bus I'm going to the Galleria, because the 82 was the linkage bus to um, other places. So you had a 82 Sharpstown that would run to the Hillcroft Transit Center, along with the Harwin bus and the Fondren bus. So the Fondren bus was a bus that went all the way to, um, and now you have this Realcrest bus, this park and ride Realcrest bus that goes basically everywhere as well.